Coming up on Guys Talking Sports, we talk about one of the greatest NBA players of all time who just announced that he's retiring. So we're going to talk about him and talk about the legacy of the one and only Kobe Bryant. My guest host, Adrian Catwell and Earl Ross, joins me now as we talk Guys Talking Sports. On everybody, this is Guys Talking Sports, and I'm your host Al Qualls, welcoming you to another edition of Guys Talking Sports. Thanks to everybody that's out there that's been checking us in, subscribe in. Really do appreciate it. Tonight we're going to go right into it. Got my guest with me. I got Earl Ross. What's up, Earl? How you doing?
Being on time as always.
And I also got my boy Adrian Catwell. Adrian, man, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Man, I tell you, technology sucks. But I'm moving on.
All right. Well, we're gonna get right into it. I would say that we're gonna just start. Let's just jump right into it and talk about, like you said, the GOAT, greatest of all time. Of course, we're talking about Kobe Bryant, who just announced that he's gonna be retiring after this season. So I'm just gonna sit back and just let one of y'all go ahead and start and give me your thoughts about this.
I'll let you go first, Ace.
All right. Got to give it up to Kobe. Recognize that his time. Well, like we all know, as we get older, and I could attest to this. Once you start creeping up to that age of 40, your body just don't respond like it did back when you were closer to your mid-20s. And Kobe's realizing that all the injuries is really just finally caught up to him. He probably just doesn't have the lift. This probably just doesn't have that it factor when it comes to basketball anymore, and that's not a bad thing. It's just, it is what it is. Father Time waits for no one. So he's definitely feeling that. It's unfortunate because we're losing an icon, but like in basketball, there will always be another group of superstars that'll come in and do damage, in today's basketball world. But Kobe will go down as one of the greats. Now, Earl hit me up earlier today and was asking, do I think that Kobe is a top 10 player of all time? And my initial thought was like, I can't give him top 10 of all time. I mean, top 10 shooting guard? Yeah, definitely. He's definitely top 10, probably top 5. But can I legitimately give him a top 10 ranking overall best NBA player ever? Top 50, yes. I don't know. I haven't really sat down and listed out who I believe is 10 better players, but top 10 would be tough. So I'm curious to hear both of y'all thoughts on that particular scenario as far as Kobe being a top 10 player overall.
Well, yeah, I think I echo your sentiments as well. I think everybody wants to go out on top, or at least go out on their shield fighting. No one wants to kind of go down, the way he has. But like you said, injuries, Father Time, the Achilles tendon, not really playing but more than 60-plus games over the last 2 years. You thought maybe after last year when he really took the whole season off that maybe he'll be able to, to come back and kind of be maybe not the old Kobe, but at least 70% close to what he was. I mean, but you realize that when you're not being competitive and your game is not there, I mean, most guys won't even say anything. They'll just try to kind of fight through it and everything. But I think he recognized very early on that, his body is not, up to the task per se, and the game is just not there. And he's recognizing that. He had last year on his 2-year contract, and he's admitting that he can't go any further. To the hints, I do think that the Lakers organization, to a certain degree, do deserve a little bit of blame for this because they weren't able to surround him with the talent level to allow him to kind of dial back down the minutes per se and let somebody else younger kind of take up those minutes, and then he kind of come in as, Tim Duncan would do, like when it's time for the playoffs. Now, on the same note, Kobe's DNA doesn't always allow him to make those kind of decisions because he is Mike, and Mike didn't like to share the rock. Even when he got to the Wizards, he didn't really want to share the rock too much. But I think it was just a little bit of blame on both, the Lakers for not putting enough talent around him to sort of shave off those minutes, and Kobe for not going in there and willing to accept a little bit less money to be able to attract some talent. And so you can see with San Antonio, the Spurs are, set up once Tim Duncan does leave to be competitive for another 5-6 years. The Lakers, once Kobe leaves, they're not going to be competitive. They're going to be in a straight rebuilding mode. And I don't know how their new pick, D'Angelo Russell, is going to, pan out for the whole year. But I didn't think they should have went that route. But that's totally different of the subject. But Father Time and waits for no one, and his body is not there. The mind is willing, still has still sharp, but the body just can't react to it.
I agree totally with what you just said. It's amazing that, and I'm still kind of amazed the fact that he's been in the league for about 20 years. That truly is remarkable itself. Still kind of salty how he went to LA because at that time I was a Charlotte fan. But the point of the matter is that he's still one of the greatest of all times. Like I said, I don't know about the of all time where he ranks. Like you said, we do have to sit down. There's a bunch of people that's currently there as the greatest of all time, and I would have to sit down and rank them. But I will go on a limb and say he's probably one of the top 3 shooting guards of all time. To be honest, I can't even think of another shooting guard that's the greatest of all time outside of Jordan at this point. But I think that him and Kobe, if Jordan is 1, then I think Kobe is at least a 2 or 3 tops. I can't really see another shooting guard that has the credentials of what Kobe has done, especially with the pedigree that he has. I agree with you in regards to the Lakers. The organization is both the Lakers and Kobe. Kobe not willing, he's going for his money, so I can understand. But it is a detriment to the team, the organization, because he couldn't bring the pieces that he want there. And same thing with the organization. I think they could have set themselves better. So even if Kobe did want the money, they could have set themselves a little bit better so that they can quickly rebuild or quickly move forward with Kobe out, with Kobe eventually retiring. And it's not like that they didn't know when he was going to do it. They definitely had ample amount of time to at least build up so that somebody could take over the reins once he does leave.
Well, hold on though. Remember, the Lakers did try to get CP3, and the league blocked it back when they were still playing. I guess they were temporarily playing in New Orleans at the time, I guess. They blocked that. And then I forget that the Lakers big that they picked, was it Julius Randle? They picked up not this past draft, but the draft before?
Yeah, Julius Randle, yes.
And he is probably just going to start to get into his own this year and next year. Now, I'm not saying if they would have gotten a CP3 if things would have been a little different, but I can't say that the Lakers are totally to blame when they did try to get some pieces and the league kind of smacked them and was like, nah, you can't do that.
And it's amazing how that blocked that was a block for the Lakers, and because we could probably be saying the same thing where as much as where the Clippers are if Chris Paul would have been with Kobe Bryant. Who knows how far that team would have gone with both of them with a 1-2 combination of them together. So it definitely would have been interesting to see how that would have played out.
And it's kind of ironic that, David Stern blocked that because he didn't like the deal and he thought the Lakers was going to monopolize talent. So David Stern needs to be on the hook for that one. But it's kind of ironic how after CP3 deal got nixed, that was just that next season was the season that Kobe, right near the playoffs, blew out his Achilles tendon.
Yep. But then, if CP3 would have gotten there, would have Dwight Howard played better to want to stay in LA? Then you would have had a big 3 of Kobe, CP3, and Dwight Howard. You
If
still,
that's a big if. That was if Jim Buss would have decided to go ahead and do the right thing and bring in Phil Jackson the way Dwight Howard wanted to, instead of going with Mike D'Antoni and basically ran Kobe and the rest of the guys into the ground.
true.
That was a whole debacle. I mean, that whole season was just like nothing didn't go right for them. Even when they didn't get Chris Paul, they brought in Steve Nash, and that didn't even work out for them to be like the backup. So
Yeah, that was another old dude in Twilight and just collecting the check.
And he said it. He was there for a check.
Right. I mean, good intentions, but you got Steve Nash with 5, 6, 7 years too late.
I mean, you had a good squad that could have been there. You would have had, if, it was all big ifs, if you would have had CP3, you still would have had Kobe, you still would have had Gasol. Maybe you could have been able to finagle and still get Dwight Howard in, because he did want to play with just, Phil.
No. They wouldn't have Gasol, because Gasol would have went to New Orleans.
Right. New Orleans, yeah.
Oh, right, for the trade, CP3.
Yeah.
Shoot, and I didn't think that was a bad trade. That's unbelievable. I mean, because you see how Gasol is balling now with the Bulls. Granted, he ain't putting up the Lakers type of numbers, but he's still putting up numbers.
I have to say this. I mean, side note with the Bulls do not look like the same Bulls. Not at all. And I think the problem is that they when they put Gasol at center and have Noah coming off the bench, they're messing up the chemistry there. But I digress. We're going back to Kobe. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, well, I guess this is going to be his retirement tour with all the gifts and everything that's going to be presented to him. I mean, as far as we can go as top 10, I think I'll probably say if it was my picking of my 10 best players, I would definitely put Kobe in my 10. Greatest of all time, that one might be a different story, because you're going to have to factor in guys from the last 30 years. But for my top 10, for the guys I've seen with my own two eyes, he would definitely be in my top 10.
Oh, so you take it within our lifetime, not overall.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I was just picking my top 10 players, I mean, he would definitely be up there. If you're picking just like all time, in general, yeah, I don't know if maybe he makes it 10 depending on who's the first 9, but
there's so many greats when you talk about all time. I mean, just from the 80s alone, you're talking about Ewing, Barkley, Malone, Stockton, you name it. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Now, I'm not saying that Kobe isn't better than those guys, but you're talking about a different style of play back then. I don't know. There's so many different factors. But I agree with you. With our own two eyes and our own generation and our past 30 years or however long we've been watching basketball, Kobe is probably in my top 5. Easy. Iverson and Kobe alone will be in my top 5. That'll be my point guard and my shooting guard right there on my squad.
I think after those ones, they're going to ball go around.
I'm sure they'll learn to play together very well. Man.
Like I said, he definitely one of the greatest. For him to prove what he had to prove from a young age to where he is now, to go through the adversity of people hating on him, saying that he's trying to be the Batman to Shaq's Robin and vice versa, that whole thing, to being a leader, being like his work ethic, and everybody calling him like a drill sergeant and stuff like that. He's just very competitive. I think that's something that a lot of players don't have, where he just puts in the work time and time again. And he's faced a lot of adversity, so I gotta respect him for that.
Yeah, I mean, my whole big thing is when we always have this debate with some cats at work about, who's better in their prime, who you take in their prime, Kobe in his prime or LeBron James. I'll take Kobe in his prime, especially, the last shot. I'll take it to him because he wasn't scared to take it, and he would nail it with the highest degree of difficulty that I've seen since Mike. So, I mean, like you said, it's worth ethic. I mean, yes, he could be like a drill sergeant and a bit of a taskmaster, but so was Mike. They said their practices were much more intense than the games, and he would get on people and scream at you. And these young cats now got too much thin skin; they ain't built for it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's why a lot of folks can't deal with Kobe, man. I mean, he's, from my understanding, he was as big a jerk as MJ was back in his day. It was Chicago, you know, and I guess they could say Kobe's kind of biting off of MJ, but I mean, can you really fault Kobe for demanding perfection, for wanting the best from his team and his teammates, and wanting to win every night? And I think that's every athlete's, especially every pro athlete's, aspiration is to always win. Nobody likes to lose, even though there has to be a loser. You know.
Yeah, but if many athletes put in the work ethic that he put in, you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't be like, I mean, don't get me wrong, but these past couple of years with the Lakers, you know, like how they were acting and, you know, all that, and you could see like the whole thing, like back like maybe about a year or two ago when they had Jeremy Lin on the team, and you know Kobe wasn't really playing because he was out with injury, and you know he had to go to games watching like Nick Young and all them, you know, acting how they was acting. You know, and he's just sitting there like, you know, this is seriously like, you know, these guys are not putting in enough effort to try and win games. It's like, you know, they're out, you know, celebrating too much and doing too much, and they need to start focusing. He saw the writing on the wall. I think that's what it boiled down to. I think he saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, man, look, take it for somebody who ruptured an Achilles. You know what I mean? And I praise all athletes who can sit there and come back from that, because I know just walking, your foot feels funny, let alone trying to run, lift, jump, and do everything that basketball players do. I mean, football is a little different. You don't necessarily have to jump, but you still got to be able to run. You still got to be able to explode. But with the constant jumping and the constant this and that within basketball, it was even incredible that he was able to come back with some success after he first got back. But this season alone, man, it's just, I think he just lost all lift. And I guess he was banking on the fact that he played, I think Earl mentioned like 66 games over the past 2 years, thinking he might have had fresh legs, able to sit and relax and not do much of anything. But this comes to show at his age that he needed to be playing more, not necessarily more minutes, but just to be in a constant flow to maintain the professionalism as far as him playing basketball at a consistent level. You know, and I think that's what really hurt him more than anything else. I don't think it's more so the injuries, of course, slowed him down, but the fact that he couldn't play, and now he's trying to play and he's trying to push himself harder than he ever pushed before, and he's knocking on 40's door, and the two just ain't mixing right. It's like oil and water. They just ain't gonna mix. Tim Duncan is so successful because, one, he's pretty much played injury-free. Two, Popovich just knows, dude, I want you 20 to 23 minutes a game. You're sitting out every third day. And Tim Duncan is like, bet, you know what I'm saying? He's like, cool, I'm with it. And that's why he's still fresh, he's still agile. He can still give you 20 and 10 every time he plays. Kobe is he's just such a competitor that he just doesn't have it in him to want to sit there and just take the what's the word I'm looking for? Take the game for what it's going to be for that particular day. Because, you know, it's a good chance the Lakers will probably lose if he doesn't play. But, you know, he does. I think he just doesn't have that forward thinking.
Yeah, and I don't think he really had much confidence in the people that he had around him to be able to take that back seat. I mean, right. you know, San Antonio, you had Tony Parker that came up. You had Ginobili. I mean, you had those guys, you know, a couple of years where you had confidence where you can take an essential a night off or 2 nights off, or even take a back seat and let, you know, the offense flow through them. I mean, the last championship the Spurs won, or one before that, Tony Parker was the MVP. I mean, he pretty much, you know, won that championship when they played LeBron James. And I mean, Duncan had his one game, but that was Tony Parker's entire, NBA Finals. So, I mean, what did Kobe really have that he can be confident with? He can kind of dial it down every night, every other night, or, maybe a week, let this guy run it. Outside of Gasol, nobody.
And it's amazing because when you think about it, when the last time the Lakers did win a championship with Kobe, you can name like he had Gasol, he had Andrew Bynum, who's supposed to be a beast, for years to come. And to be honest, I think that it was at a point where Kobe was like, I wouldn't mind turning it over to him because he can, his idea was that he could carry that, the Lakers down the road. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And I think what it is that the organization didn't play their part in doing the things to keep the players that was there to complement Kobe, or vice versa, where Kobe could take a back seat and say, you know what, I could depend on these guys to help carry the load and take it to the next level. I think when Kobe started relinquishing those duties as much, I know he was still trying for the championship, but he really knew that he didn't have to depend much on himself when he had Bynum and Gasol there. So it kind of helped him out and ease the pressure on him. Now he feels as though, like you said, there's really nobody there that he could actually is confident enough to say, okay, I'm willing to let them win the game for us. And you can see that. Like even if he's going like 7 for 21, he's still the person that has to take the last shot.
Yeah, because he doesn't trust anybody else to take that last shot.
Exactly.
Well, Mr. Kobe is now doing his celebratory tour around the league, just like my man Derek Jeter did. Unfortunately, Kobe isn't going to get the fanfare and the love that Derek Jeter got from every stadium that he visited, but
Well, I don't know. I think now that everybody knows that this is his farewell tour, I think that a lot of people, I think he's going to get a lot more he's going to be a lot more appreciative, for the longevity, if anything. I think a lot of fans will applaud for him in every city that he goes to.
Yeah, and I think even with Derek Jeter, I mean, everybody knew about it before the season started, so people had time to prepare for the last time being here. Even Boston even rolled out the red carpet for him. I was surprised about that, but I think he will. I mean, maybe not every stadium, but I think he'll probably get his fair due.
Well, I do know I'm gonna miss some good old Kobe. I'm definitely going to miss Paul Pierce because I can't see Pierce playing past this year. I can't see Garnett going past this year. You see Ray Allen decided not to come back. He hasn't officially retired, but I don't see him coming back no time soon. I mean, that level, that era of, what is that, 92, 93?
Oh, no, they came in
95?
No, that era of the Boston with
No, I'm talking about the Kobe, that era when they came into the league.
Oh, when they came into the league, yeah, 95. 95.
Yeah, that whole era, as we know it, is definitely coming to a close, man. And that was some darn good basketball. I admit I was very much entertained. Now, I'm not saying I'm not entertained with today's basketball, but it's obvious, that the league is definitely nowhere near as good as it was, just because of so many one-and-doners, and these jokers aren't they're not physically ready for the NBA grind, just because the scores are just it just dictates how dreadful shooting and all this stuff is, just because it's more like collegiate scores than what we're used to seeing, triple-digit scores from every team every night, because jokers can hit J's consistently, and that's what I miss.
Well, they got to go back to the old ways. I mean, they had to readjust rules from the old Nick ball days, so now you can't check anybody coming to the top of the key, hand checking. Guards basically have the freedom to just roam around and shoot at will. There's nobody banging down low at all. I mean, even the boxes got a lot bigger where they're calling fouls when you're going up to the lane where they used in charging where you used not to be charging before in the past. It's just that's a different
Right.
that's a different podcast, and I have to talk about that. But I definitely agree.
Hopefully, and I think Kobe is at this point where he's like, yo, it's not the same anymore. It's not as fun as it used to be. I understand now that my time is up. So it'd be interesting to see how he is received, especially like you said around the cities where he's going to be playing. Definitely be very interesting, and would love to see how. I'm waiting to see when he goes to like Boston or some of the other places where they were in Denver, of course, because of that situation there.
Right.
So I'd be definitely interested to see how that would play out. But he is definitely. He's not the greatest, but one of the greatest players in NBA history, and I definitely gotta give him respect where respect is due.
If we can go back to that whole Denver fiasco, discounting everything that happened and what went on, I do have to give the boy credit. He went from Denver to do the court hearings to come back in the playoffs and play and score and do well like 3 times in a row. I mean, he didn't get charged of that. Well, that whole case got thrown out, but still, you have to give the boy credit for that because I don't know how many players now can sit there and go from Denver to LA or Denver where they was playing in the playoffs.
Whoa. I cannot give him credit for that.
He was just talking about the mentals.
No. I cannot give him credit for that because there is no reason why that should have been even in the issue in the first place. When he has a wife like her, I mean, there should be no reason, none. Like, to be honest, there's no reason to look at any other.
Oh no, I'm not discounting. I'm not the act. I'm separating the act from the fact that he had to go from the court to the gym and play.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
I totally agree with what you're saying on that part. Yes, it should even got to that point, but taking that aspect out of it and just from how he had to go from court to and play mentally, that was that was something. But I totally agree with what you're saying.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, man.
All right.
Stupidity goes a long way.
yeah, touche. But do have to say, shout out to Kobe, of course, one of the greatest players in the NBA history. So we're gonna move on because we still got a little bit of time left. So I do want to talk and get your guys' perspective of the NFL. We're gonna move from the NBA a little bit to the NFL and talk about, let's talk about the referee play. I know you have comments about that, so I'm just gonna open up the floor to whoever wants to go first.
I didn't see the game, so I can't really speak on it. But
all right, then I'm gonna go first. No, I'm gonna go first. Last night, the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Wasn't really a great game to say the least, but a couple of things. Of course, Baltimore won with a block field goal, and that took it all the way for the touchdown. But Twitter was blowing up. I mean, I saw it on my Twitter feed, like actual talking about the refs and how the ref. Whereas, they was complaining about the refs making so many mistakes in the game, and I saw some of the videos where, of course, let's say for example, like one of the Baltimore Ravens was offsides, jumped the gun, so to speak, and was able to get back, and they didn't throw flags on the play, stuff like that. But all in all, the NFL season has been, I guess, very controversial with the referees. I've been hearing a lot of people complain about the referees and how their lack of refereeing is making the games a lot worse than what it is. Real quick, I understand that referees don't see everything. I understand that sometimes they don't get the replays even right. But I think there has to be some limit to, I mean, there's got to be something where the NFL needs to correct let me ask a question. When with the replay, does the referee see it actually get to make the decision after the replay, or does it go to the NFL studios for them to make the judge and a call and then send it to the referees? I'm not 100% sure how that works.
I think it's a collective. I know it definitely goes to New York, and the guys there look at it as well as talking to the referees down there, and the referees get their decisions, but it can't get overturned by the guys in New York from what was called out on the field, which happens a lot.
Okay, but I guess my question is that I'm wondering how do they determine the actual call? I guess I need to find out a little bit more, because it's at a point right now where I guess the referees is so many bad calls are being made where people are actually complaining, like fans are complaining that the referees are messing up the calls. So I'm wondering if it's really getting to a point where are they going to eliminate the instant replay and just let the ref the games? Or I'm wondering where it's going to draw the line, if the NFL is going to actually do something about it, or are they going to just let it continue on?
I don't know. I think I see them letting it continue on. I don't think they'll see them totally getting rid of replay or even the coaches' challenges per se. But yeah, I would agree. I mean, I didn't see the game last night. I was watching some of the New England Patriots and Broncos game, and those phantom calls. I mean, the one where Gronk had a very questionable push off that was offensive foul on him, a couple of holding penalties, a couple of defensive defensive pass interferences against New England, which I mean at one point you was thinking that Brady was playing against the refs and the Broncos for the win, but it's to me it's like the calls aren't universal. I mean, if you're gonna call it tight, call it tight all the way through the game. If you're gonna call it loose, call it loose all the way through the game. I mean, if you're gonna say something that's a catch, like with Odell Beckham, I mean, it was a catch in my opinion. I mean, caught the ball, brought it in 2 feet down in the end zone, but then they said, he has to make a football move or keep the ball in his hands when he goes into the end zone. You can break the plane with the foot of the ball, and your body can be out of bounds as long as the ball touches the pylon or breaks the plane. But yet, what Odell Beckham had wasn't a catch or touchdown. But I agree, the officiating has been questionable in a lot of games, and I don't know how the NFL. I mean, they're not probably going to do anything about it now because you're midway through the season, but there's got to be something in the offseason to address some of these, bad calls that have been going out.
I mean, I'm more concerned about whether or not something like this may happen. Like this could happen in the playoffs. Can you imagine if like a ref gets a blown call for someone that's going to the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl, where it actually determines the outcome of the game?
Well, yeah, you still got Dallas Cowboys fans still crying the blues from last year when they said that Dez Bryant's catch wasn't a catch when he grabbed it and fell down and it popped out. I thought it was a catch to myself, and I'm a Giants fan. That's giving Cowboys any kind of praise is not me, but I thought that was a catch per se. But I mean, it's going to happen.
I was listening to sports radio as I normally do. I want to say it was Mike and Mike last week sometime. Mark Schlereth made the opinion that they said they need to make the referees full time. They were saying like how NFL refs are officiating NCAA basketball games before NFL games and all types of other things, and they said that the rules are changing so much, so quickly, every year to year, that all of it's so subjective based on what the ref thinks he may have seen, that they should go ahead and make it so that they hire refs and make them full time, and that they have to take classes and they have to constantly be reviewing and rehearsing and staying up on the rules and make sure that everything is uniform. going forward, so they try to avoid some of these mistakes. Now, if the NFL goes ahead and makes, and because it's not an issue of money. Hell, the NFL makes money hand over fist, so they can easily take 8 referees times 16, 32 teams, and have maybe, 8 times 16, 16 games, 8 referees, whatever that number is, and hire them, and then have X amount of alternates, that they could say that they're part-time or however they want to use it, and then make sure that these jokers know the rules inside out and give them every scenario possible, and make sure that the NFL gives them the right response, so that in the event these types of things happen, they won't seem like they don't have a clue of what or how to make the correct call.
Side note, just want to give you a quick score that the Lakers did get the Sixers got their first win.
I heard, I think I saw a stat where Kobe was 9 for 27 and 3 for 17 from 3.
Wait, you said not 9 for 17 from 3.
3 for 17.
3 for 17.
But 9 for 27 overall.
Well, that's lower than 30%, isn't it?
Yeah, way low. And you know what? I kind of figured that Kobe was going to be that type of person where if you're not going to lose to Philly, like I'm going to try my best to do whatever.
No, of course, he was born in Philly, so he's trying to show out.
Yeah.
He's like, he ain't coming back to Philly.
Yeah,
so he's
that's
trying
true.
to go. But they say he scored 13 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, he always does that. This is when he gets later. It seems like now later on he's regressing. And to be honest, it's not just him. I think older players are doing that because I watched the Nets a lot now lately, and Joe Johnson, he always starts off hot in the first quarter, and then you won't hear him in the second half. Period. So, I say that because of me being how I am. But it seems as though that's the trend right now with older players. So, but congratulations to the Sixers, of course. Your first win since March 25th. So, kudos to you guys for getting off the slide, so to speak.
Hey.
But right now, I think that's pretty much all we have time for, right?
I do have a hard stop in a few minutes, so.
Yeah. Okay. So then we'll just cut it right there. We'll just cut it right there. For everybody, thanks for tuning in to Guys Talking Sports. Everybody that subscribed, I really do appreciate it. Get others to subscribe as well. I'll start with you, Earl. Tell them where they can reach you at.
You can hit me up on the gram, JEROSS 7. Same handle on Twitter, and I'm out there on Facebook as well. So holla at your boy.
All right, Ace, tell them where they can reach you at.
You can find me on Twitter at CatDaddy1963. That's CatDaddy1963. Shout out to all the brothers of Iota Phi Thirst Fraternity Incorporated. We holding you guys down. Round and gold all day, every day. Stay up. We'll be back in a week.
And of course, you can find me also on Twitter as well. I am Al Qualls. You also find me on Instagram as well. I am Al Qualls. Facebook, I really don't do that as much. So you can find me on there, but I probably won't respond. For YouTube subscribers, also Google Plus subscribers as well. You can hit me there. I could definitely respond back to you on that as well. I appreciate all the love. Guys Talking Sports, we coming through every week. Try to do the best I can to talk sports. Definitely some changes is going to be taking place somewhere down the road, beginning probably in the new year. But for now, you can catch us every week. Once I finish up the editing, I'll put it out there on YouTube. Get more people to subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Also, ask questions. Most likely, I'm going to do a polling on Twitter sometime in the near future as well. But I'd like to thank everybody for checking us out. Guys Talking Sports. Until next time, take care.